If you are keeping score, the left just lost a major battle in the culture wars and they're squealing like stuck pigs. There's a serious battle going on in our culture right now, and it's over our children. We have been losing for a very long time, but recently, because of COVID, parents have been finding out about exactly what's going on in the schools. It started out in Lawton County in Virginia, where parents discovered that kids were being taught critical race theory. Basically, white kids have been taught to blame themselves, to have white guilt, to blame themselves for everything that is wrong with America. And black kids have been taught to be dependent upon Democrats, on white folks for their success. Parents didn't like that. It didn't go down very well, so they began to push back. But little did they know what else was being taught to their kids. There's a curriculum going on, the LGBTQ plus curriculum, which is grooming kids to be, well, part of the LGBTQ plus, the alphabet people, their community. And this has been going on for a while. But because of COVID, because of the Zoom classes, parents got their hands on curriculum, parents got their hands on homework assignments, and parents found out that yes, their kids were being taught. As the San Francisco Gay Bill course told them, we're going to convert your children. But they're not having any part of that. From the East Coast to the West Coast, this has been on tap. This has been a very real curriculum. And parents began to push back. Now, when they did push back, they found out that the National School Board Association went to the Biden administration and told them, this is a dangerous thing. The Biden administration went to the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, and told them what was happening. They went to the FBI, and a letter was crafted telling parents that if they were to get involved, continue to get involved in the school board meetings, that they were going to be designated as domestic terrorists. Yes! But parents didn't care. They continued to push back. The end result, well, we saw Virginia go from a blue state to a red state in one election. Just one. Why? Because the Democrats were trying to tell parents that they're in control of their education and that parents had no say-so in what their children were to be taught in school. Really? Really? Parents are not having it. So coast to coast, we have seen parents push back against this agenda. Then we found out it wasn't just, the schools. You got Disney, their executives came out and said, you know what? They apologized. We're sorry that we have neglected the alphabet people's agenda. And they pledged to make more of their characters in their films for children, LGBTQ, whatever. And of course, that created a huge firestorm as well. So now you got to push back against Disney. And then you find out that it's not just Disney, but this has been going on across the board in our country. Well, the good people of Florida, Republicans in Florida, decided to do something about it. Primarily because of the website Libs of TikTok, they were able to see teachers actually talking about how they were grooming their kids in the classroom. Libs of TikTok ripped the lid off of the whole thing, and the legislature of Florida, Republican legislature, decided to do something about it. They came out with a bill that basically said, you know what? You cannot teach the LGBTQ plus curriculum to our kids from the age of kindergarten to third grade. And when that happened, the libs literally lost their mind, because that's the age where kids are most vulnerable. And that's the age that the libs targeted for grooming. Well, when this became a law, you had libs freak out. And the libs that worked for Disney decided, you know what, we have to have this company do something about it. Why? Well, because the libs can't get any legislation passed for this, because parents are not down with it. And especially in states that are controlled by Republicans, they're not having it. And they can't get the courts to do anything with it, because the courts, thanks to President Donald Trump, well, they have balance now. And you got to cherry pick to go to the right court, and time is a wasting. So they went to Disney. like good liberals do. They go to the corporations to do their bidding. We see that with the big social media giants. We saw that with Major League Baseball, who pulled their all-star game out of Atlanta because they didn't like the laws that Georgia had passed for election integrity. And now we're seeing it with Disney. Disney decided, because of a handful of their employees who were LGBTQ plus, their employees complained. So now Disney said, we're coming out against the don't say gay law in Florida. We're going to have it repealed, or we're going to have it voted down. They decided to get political. Well, Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, and Republicans decided, okay, what? If you want to play politics, we'll play politics. And there's this old antiquated law that was passed, in the 1950s or 60s, that gave Disney their own autonomy, gave them their own tax structure, said that they could be able to build on the property, tear down the build as they pleased. Well, Ron DeSantis and the Republicans of Florida decided that they were going against that. They're going to repeal that. At first, people thought it was just an idle threat. But as it began to pick up steam, pick up momentum, the left started to freak out. And yesterday, Ron DeSantis and the Republican legislature, the House, passed a bill that repealed Disney's tax status. And the liberals freaked out. They were howling like banshees. It was weeping and gnashing of teeth right there in the chambers. It was something to behold. I want you to check this out.
And we will vote on these two bills. It is my hope that we will be able to proceed civilly and with decorum and with respect for one another. Read the next bill.
By Senator Bradley, Senate Bill 4C, a bill to be entitled an act relating to independent special districts.
They're losing their mind. They're losing their mind in there, screaming and yelling like crazed banshees, just like they did at the Kavanaugh hearings.
Representative Fine, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It seems as Mickey and many have joined us in the chamber today. That said, this is the bill that we discussed yesterday.
Members, we will either go into structured debate or we will call the previous question.
Go into structured debate. No, previous question. Previous question.
You're recognized for a motion.
Here, Mr. Speaker, I move the previous question on the bill.
Representative Renner moves the previous question on the bill. This motion is not debatable and requires a majority vote. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. Show if motion passes, we will now proceed to call the previous question.
That was fast.
The clerk will unlock the machine and members will proceed to vote on Senate Bill 4C. Have all members voted? Clerk will lock the machine. Announce the vote.
70 yeas, 38 nays.
Show the bill passing.
That, my friends, was a thing of beauty. You had the Republicans who ignored all the noise. You had the Republicans who just powered on through. And the Democrats' behavior, my goodness, those lefties that were in the chamber, they were screaming, they were howling, they were trying to disrupt this democracy. Remember when that was something that you could get thrown in jail over? Remember all of the protesters at January 6th? Remember how the Democrats reacted to this insurrection? We have people still in jail today who were protesting at January 6th. They have no representation. They didn't get their day in court. They were just thrown in there and said that they were enemies of the state because they disrupted the process. But isn't that exactly what these lefties did here? But the Republicans ignored it. They powered through. And this is a lesson for Republicans everywhere. There used to be a day where if corporate America pressured the states, they would acquiesce. Oh, if you don't reverse your law, we're going to withhold the Super Bowl from you. Oh, we're going to hold the All-Star game for you. But no, times have changed. You know why? Because this isn't about policy. This isn't about, butt-hurt teachers. This isn't about the LGBTQ agenda. This is about kids. And when parents begin to see what's happening to their kids, they said, hell to the no. You crossed the line when you decided to go after America's children. And parents, they may compromise on many things, but they're not going to compromise on their kids. What we saw in Florida was a battle line. And what we saw in Florida was a huge loss for liberals, for the LGBTQ plus agenda, and for woke companies who decide to put all of their eggs in that basket. And that, my friends, is fantastic news. My name is James T. Harris. This is my YouTube channel. If you like what you hear, I encourage you to like this page and to subscribe to this page. Please tell your friends about this page, because we are going to continue to push back and celebrate every win that we get in the culture war, because it's a win for American values and American decency.